Hello and welcome back to my newest video. We are going to be continuing with the duology that Future and Metro Boomin are bringing us with this new album, We Still Don't Trust You. Coming about 2 weeks later after the first installment, aptly titled We Don't Trust You, the sequel, We Still Don't Trust You, is similar to Future's 2017 run, where he had his two self-titled, if you want to call them, his two self-titled projects, where you had Future, and then a month later you had Hendrix, where Future is much more rap-based, your typical trap music that you'd get from Future, and then Hendrix is that R&B fused with trap, but it's like much, more prevalent on the R&B side. And this mirrors that as well, with this pretty much entirely being R&B, although you do have 2 discs, with the second disc only being 7 tracks, 6 of them actually being full-length songs, the first one just being an intro, which is your trap bass, but we'll get to that, towards the end, because it'll be a minute. But yeah, so with 2 discs being 25 songs and an hour and 28 minutes, there's definitely some filler on here. I will say that right away. Overall, I do like the project. I know there's not many projects I have covered that I don't like, but that's a discussion for another day. But yeah, there's definitely some filler, but I think for the most part, they did a pretty good job on here. But straight away, I fucking love the title track, We Still Don't Trust You. It is completely left field from anything I was expecting to hear from a Future and Metro Boomin collab album. I really wasn't sure if this was going to be similar to Hendrix before it came out. I really wasn't looking on social media to see if anyone was talking about what it's going to be. I'm not sure if they did discuss it, if they precursed hey, this is going to be, kind of mirroring that. But this intro track isn't even R&B. It's a much more synth pop, 80s inspired track, where Future really, he doesn't even say all too much. He kind of just repeats the refrain of We Still Don't Trust You. And there is a very nice Weekend feature on here, which is really good. But the production here, holy shit. Like I said, this is so out of left field for what I was expecting. The laser synth effects that come in and out of the track, kind of, I think, starts for the first time right in the middle, and then it's later on, are perfect. Honestly, I think this is a perfect opener. I see some people being it's not that good, but it does stand. I mean, it's a good song on its own, but it is meant to just be an opener. It's not supposed to be I don't know. I really like it either way. Next up, Drink and Dance, I think, is a crazy follow-up. In the same sort of vein as the title track, it definitely still has that 80s synth pop inspired thing, and it is a much more poppy song. I could see how a lot of people might not like this one. It is a little bit, I feel maybe safe. You could definitely see maybe someone I don't know, just, I don't want to, I can't really think of, a name, but, you could see some, big pop star doing a song like this. It's just very much a club song. I mean, it's called Drink and Dance, and that's what Future's saying is, oh, this girl, she just wants to keep, having sex and stuff, and then he's I just want to drink and dance, which is funny, because, I mean, he just talks about sex so much, but, this is the one time he's nah, he's I'm trying to bust a move and get wasted. So, either way, it's super catchy and dancey, and I like it. And although fuck Chris Brown, he does have some backing vocals on this that I think are really good. Although they should have just had The Weeknd doing background vocals on this, since he already is on 3 tracks here. So yeah, the third track, though, Out of My Hand, starts off really ominous with very minimal production, and Future giving a nice smooth intro before it kicks off, and we're in the midst of yet another super great chorus. I think that this is definitely a really good highlight off of the off the album. I do see a lot of people praising this one. But yeah, so far I think we're going 3 for 3 on the LP. This song isn't nearly as grand as the first 2 tracks. Like, it doesn't feel as big, but that's okay. It doesn't need to. It's still a really nice, like, melodic performance. But then we do transition into Jealous, which I think is the first sort of lull in the LP. Personally, I just don't feel like this song nearly flows as well, and just really, in my opinion, just doesn't do all too much for me. This Sunday, though, is a throwback to 2016, with this being, I don't know if it was this song itself, I believe it was, but this song kind of getting leaked. And then this is what this is what Drake interpolates on his song Feel No Ways from Views, I believe. That's the element that's on. Yeah, and so he interpolates this on that, and so this is the actual track finally coming out so many years later, which I don't think is a bad thing. Like, it doesn't really sound dated, and I think that Future doesn't strain his vocals like the way Drake is able to do, and so I think Future does really nice. I think that this is another one of the highlights, and I quite like it, honestly. Track 6 is Luv Bad Bitches. Again, feels like a bit of a leftover, though, from Hendrix. It's just a darker R&B song that was, like, prominent at the time. In my personal opinion, it's not one of the greatest. I don't think it's a bad song, but really just nothing to write home about. Again, it's another song that could have just been left off the project, and really, I say wouldn't have affected it, but, like, it would have probably made my score go up a bit, because, like, it's just a filler track to not be on here. Then, Amazing Interlude comes in. It's pretty entertaining, with Future proclaiming his appreciation for watching 2 women kiss each other, which, same, I guess. We do get the second collaboration on here with Pluto and Abel, with All to Myself, which I do see a lot of people being like, "Oh, this is the best collaboration between the two on the project," and a lot of people saying this is their best collaboration to date. And I do have to agree. I wouldn't say about their best collaboration to date, but this is definitely their best collaboration on this project, as it is. Future has a super intoxicating flow with his verse and hook, and I love the electric guitar that goes throughout the track. I wish it was in, honestly, more of the track, but yeah, that really kills it. It brings back some, like, old school 90s R&B feel, and so yeah, the song really fires up, though, when The Weeknd comes in, and just he glides so smoothly over this beat while still throwing shots at Drake. Like, that is fucking nuts. Like, I mean, I kind of expected him to jump on the trend of, shooting shots at Drake, but to be so melodic and so smooth about it, man, I mean, it was just crazy. I mean, at this point, you got, like, so many people coming at him, but whatever. Yeah, so then you have Travis Scott's Impossible that is interpolated on Nights Like This, which explains why that this song, in my opinion, is so damn good. The song features Future exclaiming how hard nights are without this woman in his life, and with a song like this, I can see how he's got so many baby mamas, because he is smooth as butter on here. I really like this song. I don't see a lot of people giving this enough love, but
I am.
I'm giving it the love it deserves, because I am really liking this track. Wheezy taps in to help out with the production on Came to the Party, which I think is honestly just an alright song. Doesn't really do anything too crazy, in my opinion, and probably just could have been cut. So, Right For You could have easily been put earlier in the track list, with it being another blend of sort of EDM, synth pop mixed with R&B, and with the just, like, how prominent, like, the synths are, and just the really dramatic drum patterns, it just makes the whole song feel super cinematic, and really would have been good on the first, like, 3-4 tracks. Like, it would have fit really well there. But not as good as the first couple, but it's definitely still a hitter. we do get another interpolation with one of Future's own tracks from 10 years ago at this point on Mile High Memories. The whole track feels like Future in his, perfect melodic bag. I know that overall this isn't his sound that he's really known for. A lot of people come to Future for that trap, the real grimy stuff, like the street talk. But I think songs like this are the perfect representation why people should be tapping into his R&B stuff. I mean, every couple albums he kind of puts a melodic song here and a melodic song there. There were a couple on I Never Liked You, like Wait For You or Love You Better. But, man, hit like Hendrix, and this project should be getting a lot more praise. I know the guys at Hive Mind, like they talk about like Hendrix is like both of their favorite projects from Future. I wouldn't go that far to say that's my favorite, but I think he does really well. And song like this, is really well done. And like I said, I love the interpolated chorus from Throwaway. But the song actually, I do want to add on as well that the song isn't like overtly short, but I do think that it could have gone on for a little bit longer. Overload is pretty decent, although I definitely was waiting for something more to come from it. I mean, with a title like that, just you expect, I don't know, maybe something more grand to be overloaded in the sense. But yeah, kind of just, I don't know, not one I'll see myself really revisiting a bunch. Another surprise feature comes on Gracious, where you have Ty Dolla $ign sliding in and doing some nice background vocals, and yeah, I think this is the first time they've collaborated in like 4 years since Ty Dolla $ign's 2020 project, where Future and Young Thug were on the song "Lift Me Up." And although I do love to see them working together, as I think Ty Dolla $ign really pairs really well with pretty much anybody, I really wish he would have had a more prominent feature on here and maybe had like his own verse or chorus. On Just Name alone, though, I thought that Beat It was for sure going to be a straight diss track to Drake, as, like all the comparisons to him and Michael Jackson. And I think there are definitely a few subliminals that you could possibly take out of this. But this song fucking bangs. The vocal sample on this is really good. I'm not sure exactly what it's from. At the time of me like writing my script for this or like my notes, I was looking for what the vocal sample was, if it was like an originally created sample or if it's from a song. I don't think it's from Beat It. But no, it can't be. It's not from Beat It. I don't know why I fucking said that. But the vocal sample on here is so good, and I think Future pairs really nicely with it. And again, this is like just another production that Metro was going crazy on. Like, this shit is pure gold, and this is something you would not really expect either one of them to be like next to. Like, you wouldn't expect to see a production like this come from Metro, and you wouldn't expect Future to be on a production like this. But coming in 3 for 3 is The Weeknd with yet another feature on the LP, each sounding very different, and this last one is Always Be My Fault, being much more emotional, and both artists being resentful towards their ex, got blaming themselves for the downfall of their relationship. They can deal with their women anymore, and they need to stay away and cut off ties. And I think, again, as I said, when Future and The Weeknd pair up, they just make bangers. And so this is just another massive highlight. One Big Family is kind of funny, man. There's some really funny bars on this one if you go and listen, like read along to the lyrics. But I do really like the song, with Future highlighting all the women that he has around him and proclaiming his love for all of them, saying that, like he loves, I think he says like 20 women at the same time, and like they're one big family, which is just hilarious. But yeah, I think the vocals are really nice from Future, and I think Metro's sort of sci-fi inspired beat really takes the cake, with it sounding like you're almost on like a spaceship, just like flying. Do you fly through space? Yeah, you fly through space, and so whatever. Yeah, I really like that one. Then on Red Leather, we are a bit more grounded with a nicely subtle electric guitar on here, and we also get another feature from J. Cole?
J. Cole?
That's right. J. Cole is on here. And well, although he was never truly the enemy in the beef, you know, it was actually pretty cool to see his contribution. And although I know people are saying that, like, oh, this is recorded before, still, I feel like it definitely had to be intentional to put this on here. And this verse I really like. It reminds me a lot of his feature on Black's 2018 track, Pretty Little Fears, that was on his album East Atlanta Love Letter. And so it's very reminiscent of that, and I really like it. I know some people don't really like Cole kind of getting more melodic, and same thing with Future. They're like, oh, just rap. But personally, I think it's really good. I wouldn't say it's like the best track on the project, but I think that it's nice. And getting sort of the subversive track, like you see Future and J. Cole on a track, and you expect like, oh, it's gonna be some massive banger, but like getting something melodic like this is like, I think, a nice change of pace, and it's unexpected, and so I very much welcome it. And honestly, I think that this makes for the perfect closer for disc 1. I feel like, what time are we at? We're at 16 minutes. Man, I fucking blazed through that. That is what I'm talking about. 18 tracks down. Now we have 7 more to go for disc 2. So first up on disc 2, we have just a intro, which is a clip from Charlemagne the God and comedian Andrew Schultz's podcast, and basically just talking about the current state of rap. And Charlemagne is saying that basically, instead of this big 3, it's a big 4 conversation, and that Future should be in this. And he even says in the clip that Future might be the best. He might be the best modern rapper out right now, which I wouldn't go so far as to say that, but I mean, hey, I like the take and I can respect it. And this super smoothly transitions into the first actual song on side B, which is Nobody Knows My Struggle, which immediately reminds me of some old school 2013 to 2015 Future, with him sounding super. Not just him, but the instrumental sounds super dark, super heavy. He's got this hunger in his voice that I feel like we haven't gotten in a really long time. 7:12 p.m., the intro on I Never Liked You, was the closest we've gotten to in a minute, with him, sounding as hungry as he does on this, and as vicious as he does. But straight away, this is kicking off a whole nother side of him that we haven't seen in so long. And this is just insane how good this song is. And him having Southside, I think, help on this is really what takes the cake. Him having his 2 of his biggest producers that he's ever worked with, and just made so many hits with, I think is really what helped him kind of get in that old school bag that we needed. After that, we get another really nice transition. The whole side B transitions super nicely. It's also something that kind of holds back side A, is that it is not nearly as smooth song to song, but side B is super well done. And All My Life, which features Lil Baby of all people. Listen, his last album fucking sucked. I didn't rate it. Maybe I'll get to that in the future, his discography, but I would have rated that shit maybe a 30 something. It fucking sucked. I took, I think, 4 or 5 songs out of 23 or 24. But he did really good on this. I think, it's not Baby's best verse, but I think, compared to what he's been putting out recently, this is pretty fucking good. It's no wants and needs, but it is good. And I think, again, Future is just going off on this, and I was just really surprised with how well this track was. When you hear Lil Baby, you're like, oh shit, is this gonna go good? But it did go pretty well. The transitions just keep rolling with Crossed Out. The third actual song on side B features a fast-paced beat with a delivery to fit perfectly to it. This does have a shorter runtime. I believe this is the shortest track on side B, maybe on the whole album, actually. And I think that's okay, honestly, because I don't think I would really want to listen to 3 or 4 minutes of this alien sort of synth that you get on this. I think if you were listening to it for that long, because Future will have a lot of 4-minute songs, and I think that that's really good that this song didn't, but it's good the way it was. Hitter. Crazy Clientele heavily reminds me of old school Future. I mean, if you're going to say any of these songs remind you of like Future's like not like first couple projects, like this is the song. Him just really getting in that street talk. There's actually even a sample from Till I Collapse, and I think it's the strings on this, because I mean you're not getting the Queen drums, but yeah, again, just another great song and one of the best from this whole project. Crazier than an Eminem sample on this is that we get a feature from A$AP Rocky, who I guess if you're taking in the Drake beef into account, then this should be no surprise, because him and Drake have kind of been beefing for a long time. Drake wanted to get with Rihanna, but she's with A$AP Rocky and whatever. So A$AP Rocky's on here and he disses him, and honestly, I kind of hate that people were like, "Oh, his diss is weak because bro, he takes forever to drop." Listen, A$AP Rocky is not saying he doesn't take forever to drop. He's saying that For All the Dogs had a short shelf life. I hate all these people saying man, it takes so long. It's been how long has it been? 2018. So it's been 6 years since Rocky's dropped. Man, he's not saying that it hasn't been. He's just saying that Drake, his last project was so fucking weak. It was it hit the charts and quickly died off. Meanwhile, Rocky's albums, if you look, I mean, people can debate this, but you go on Reddit or Twitter or on Instagram, certain accounts, and TikTok, man, people are still talking about Rocky's projects. Testing is debated heavily. I personally really like that project. It's very nostalgic for me for when it came out. But people are still talking about Rocky's projects. I personally think he is 4 for 4 with his solo work. And I can't say the same for Drake. He's got plenty of misses for entire projects, in my opinion. For All the Dogs, massive miss. There were some good songs, as a whole, I would count it as a miss. And so him kind of saying that, some other subliminals. Anyways, another banger in my book. Lastly, we do get Streets Made Me a King. Lyrics a bit more introspective in this, with Future, very much reminiscing on his youth and everything, and kind of where he is now, the things he endured. It's a very classic rap thing, but I always think that it is a nice sentiment to get on an album. And it's very boastful, very anthemic, and personally, it's maybe not my least favorite, but maybe my second to last, but really nice, and I think ends off side B nicely. So that is it for the main review. We are now going to get into the highest highs section of the video. For best vocal performance, I'm going to give to Right For You. I think there's a fine line between Future singing being really bad and really charismatic, and I really like what he does on this, and the song just massively reminds me of Hendrix, but in a very modern way. It's not oh my god, this is him just doing another Hendrix song again. It's no, this is it feels new and invigorated, and I just like what he does vocally on this. Best production, I'm going to give to the title track, We Still Don't Trust You. It just came so out of left field. It's nothing what I would have expected Metro to do, and there was plenty of really great moments on this production-wise, but at the same time, there's also a lot of moments that were just okay production-wise, unfortunately. It always hurts to say that when it comes to Metro. Everyone's going to have some misses, but this title track, wow. It's the song I'm going back to the most. I don't need a whole lot of words. I don't need Future spitting on every song. Just this club banger, this nighttime highway speeding driving down sort of atmosphere, perfect for me. So, and I think that the production is what makes it what it is. I will say honorable mention though to Beat It. That was really good. Best songwriting, I'm going to give to Streets Made Me a King. Of course, as I just talked about, very introspective, easily best on there. My favorite bar on this, again, this is not the best. This is just my favorite because it's fucking hilarious, and it's girls kissing girls. That's amazing to me. Bros in the rolls. That's amazing to me. I mean, if I gotta explain this, it's relatable. What's better than women seeing your bros up? Hilarious, but perfectly encapsulated. Best feature performance, I'm going to give to The Weeknd on All to Myself. As I said, it's like this classic 90s R&B kind of throwback style vibe that you get on this, and I just think The Weeknd absolutely fucking kills it on here. And this is one of my favorite performances that we've gotten vocally in a couple of years. I mean, he had some really good ones on, of course, After Hours and Dawn FM, but man, this is like really good. Like, I don't know, I just really like this. I would love for him to do like a 90s sort of throwback R&B album at some point. Maybe, who knows. But overall, the album is good. I would definitely say this is a good album, but it's definitely not perfect. At 25 tracks, 24 because the first song on side B is just an intro, 24 actual tracks, there's filler on here for sure. I mean, it's expected when it's that long, but you know, I think for the most part they did a good job. I feel like this is going to be a grower. You know, it's definitely probably not going to be in my top 10 albums of the year. I'd be really surprised if it was. But, you know, they did what they did. I think I might like this more than Hendrix. I don't know. Hendrix grew on me over time, but it's been a while since I've listened to the project in full. So I'm not sure about that. But I would probably rate this at about 66%. Yeah, as I said, filler, but there were definitely some really good songs in here. So, yeah, that is going to be my review. Thank you so much for watching. That is I think this is the end of the duology. I don't think it's going to be a trilogy, although they could have had like the side B as just like it could have been its own thing. It was, would have certainly made it easier to rate this album. That was part of the hard part. But so, yeah, this is the end of the duology for the We Don't Trust You and We Still Don't Trust You. And yeah, thank you for watching. Please subscribe to see more. All my socials will be linked in the description. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye now.